hope you've got your hoop and your needle handy because now comes the fun part. We're gonna learn how to punch needle, but before you can do that, you have to get yarn moving through your needle. So let's take a look at how to thread this needle. The punch needle in your kit is going to come with 2 wire threaders that look just like this. For the purpose of this instruction video, I'm actually going to use a different threader only so it's easier for you to see, but the principles are exactly the same. So you might be thinking, my threader doesn't look like that. That's okay. All of the principles for threading the needle exactly the same whether you have this one or one of the wire ones. So first, let's talk about the anatomy of this needle because I'm going to refer back to it several times, but if you don't have it right, you won't thread your needle the correct way. Obviously, we have the tip of the needle, the top of the needle here. We've got the bottom of the needle here. Here's your handle. And then you can see right here, this open part of the needle. If I turn it sideways, you can see this side that slants. I'm going to refer to that as the open part or the beveled edge. So throughout this tutorial, if you hear me refer to the open part of the needle or the beveled edge, that is what I'm talking about. And then if I flip it over, you can see there's the eye of the needle. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by inserting that wire threader down the shaft of the needle. So I'm just going straight down the shaft until I've got that wire threader hanging out the bottom of my needle. This is important because if you insert the threader from the bottom to the top, you will have threaded your needle backwards. So remember, always start at the tip and the threader comes out the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is release that first color from the rubber band. I like to start with my interior colors first, so whatever is smallest. So looking at my pattern, I can see that these little leaf sections are the darkest green. So that's the color I'm starting with to thread my needle. And now that this is running through the threader, I'm going to pull it all the way up to the top, and my needle is now halfway threaded. We need to get the yarn through that needle eye. So another important thing to remember is that the yarn never wraps around the needle. It should never be coming over the side. We just want it to go straight through that eye. So if you need to, you are welcome to just reinsert the threader through the eye of the needle and pull the yarn through that way. Oops. Or if you don't need the threader, usually you can get it with your fingers. I'm going to pull that. So now I have a little tail hanging out the bottom or the top of the eye of my needle. So again, let's take a look at this. If you're a knitter, the working end of your yarn, so the yarn that is attached to the ball, okay, is closest to the bottom of my needle. The tail is at the top. So if you find at this stage that this right here is attached to the ball of yarn, you have threaded your needle backwards. Remember to insert the wire threader from tip to bottom, and then we go through the eye. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries to get that needle threaded just to get the hang of doing something new. So if you are still kind of unsure what to do, rewatch that video a few times before you move on to the next step. Once you've mastered this, I'm going to meet you in the next video and we're going to talk about punching basics.